Yo, what's good? Big Z here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make this. So that is my remake of Go Slow by Kaskade and Gorgon City. That bass sound is super cool, and I really wanted to know how to make it. So I spent a lot of time trying to remake this one. It's a really hard sound to get down, but I think I got decently close. So anyway, if you want the presets, they're down below for free. And if you want the project file with all the drum samples and everything, that's also linked down below. But anyway, let's get into it. So first of all, this bass sound, if I mute all the internal and external effects on this bass sound, this is what it'll sound like. Just a really basic saw sound, and then after all the effects are added on here, so I'm going to go through and show you guys all the effects and how they affect the sound and make it sound so cool. So first of all, in the oscillator tab in Serum, we just have a saw wave with one voice of unison, and it's down 2 octaves. And then we have this envelope shape down here that has a little bit of attack and a decent amount of release. And then just make sure this mono tab is checked in the voicing section down here. So then over in the effects section, I'll turn everything off and go through everything one by one so you can see what it adds to the sound. So first up, I have this hyper section, just adding some width to the sound. But it's just a subtle effect, so I have it around 12%. Then I have some multi-band compression. And then I have this linear full distortion, which sounds really cool. But that still sounds pretty bad until you add this low pass filter on it. That low pass filter has the cutoff being modulated by the envelope and also this drive being modulated by the envelope, so it adds even more distortion. And then we get into the external effects. The first effect I'm adding is some more distortion. It's just a basic logic distortion without it and then with it. So it just adds a lot of grittiness to the sound. And then I just have 3 different EQs that are doing different things, cutting out resonant frequencies, boosting the low end a little bit. I'm cutting out the sides here, so it's a little bit more mono in the low end. Then I have one more EQ, just cutting out a little more resonant frequencies. It took me a while to get this sound down, so that's why I have 3 different EQs, because I really wanted to shape the character of the sound with the EQ. So without the EQs, it sounds like this. And then with them, just taking out some resonant frequencies and making it sit better in the mix. Then there's still a couple more things going on with this sound. So I'm setting it to a reverb bus right here, which is just Valhalla room with like 1.2 seconds of decay. And then after the reverb, I'm shaping it by taking out the high end above like 2000 hertz and the low end below like 250 hertz. And then this other bus down here, bus 23, I'm sending it to this bus, adding some ozone imager to widen it up. Then I'm adding some bit crusher to distort it even more. And then I have this EQ after all that in the chain. So that effect just goes from like 1000 to 6000 hertz. So it just adds a little more distortion and wideness in that frequency range. So I know there's a ton going on with that sound. I'm sure the original sound they used didn't have that much going on, but in order to get it as close to that sound as possible, this is all the stuff I had to do. So in other parts of the drop, there's these little bass reverses that sound like this. So that's just the exact same preset and the exact same effects, except just a slower attack, so it sounds like it's reversing. Then in the background of the drop, there's this arpeggio sound that sounds like this. These construction noises are so annoying. Alright, so that sound is pretty low in the mix, and it's just a basic saw pluck in Serum. 7 voices of unison. Here's what the envelope looks like, just a basic saw pluck sound. Now I'll solo all the drums so you guys can hear what they sound like. I should mention that this tom is kind of following the same rhythm as the bass, so it adds some attack to the bass. So that's with it, and then without it. Just adds a nice attack to the bass. Anyway, I'll play the full remake again at the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Spotify below. And other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.